The Horseflies from Ithaca, New York, formerly the Tompkins County Horseflies, right?
Boy, you got your history down.
Well, I'm historical myself.
You're actually part of our history, for that
I
matter.
am a tiny little small part. I'm thinking that it was something like either the Wheatlands or, I mean, I don't know when we met, but it was back there, early 80s sometime, probably. You guys were, no. Hey, come on.
There's
man.
an awful lot of stuff that goes around 30 years in this show. I've heard 30 years probably 3 times already. I don't know.
Sometimes the really good stuff needs to sort of simmer for a while.
Yeah. Like compost.
That too. Well, let's tell us a little bit about your hometown of Ithaca, New York. Tell us about that place.
Well, it's a lot like Boulder, except it's in upstate New York, which makes it different, but we have similar politics, and that's not to say they're uniform, but we do have progressive politics butting up against everything else, and I know that you have that. We have great food. Our indigenous food is hippie food, so I think we're right there with you. We have a commons that's about 30% of what yours is. It's a great town, really, and we're on a really big, beautiful, deep glacial lake, Cayuga Lake, that is 42 miles long, 2 miles wide, 450 feet deep, and clear.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
Wow. So when water becomes the resource everybody is after, we're all going to move there, I guess, right? And does Ithaca, New York, do you guys still print your own money?
Yes, we still have Ithaca dollars. Mm-hmm.
Ithaca dollars. What was that all about?
Oh, it's not past tense.
Okay, what is it? What is it all about? It's like barter economy stuff?
Yeah, it's legitimized barter, you know. I mean, you have these coupons that represent $10 an hour, and they float through the community. And people who are working off the grid, we have plenty of those, can use that as a way to do commerce. Makes a lot of sense. It's been written up in lots and lots of mainstream magazines. We also have Ithaca Car Share now.
Well, we also print real money.
That's at your house.
We're not as famous for that.
Yeah, right.
Well, I should mention that I'm talking to the 3 original members and Judy and Richie and Jeff. I guess should we talk, Judy, you come from a classical violin background, right?
I do.
So one of the influential pieces of your magical musical puzzle is that stuff.
That's one of the pieces. I also grew up in a jazz household.
Wow, what does that mean?
What does that mean? It means my dad is a jazz pianist.
Oh, okay.
And so I grew up listening to a lot of jazz.
I was thinking that meant that like dinner was 2 a.m. or something.
That too.
That too. Yeah. And Jeff, what about your background? What did you grow up listening to?
Ooh, let's see. I sang in the church choir, grew up in a small town in the Midwest, and I had a little transistor radio, and I used to listen to, like dirty stuff from Chicago, which was about 100 miles away. Yeah. But that was like another planet in the world I lived in. You rode the train maybe once or twice a year to go to Chicago. But then in high school, we discovered it was really only a car drive away. It's about an hour and 10 minutes. You could go there on Friday night. Right, Mom, if you hear this, that's what we used to do. And get home and nobody knew you'd been to Chicago.
And Richie, the banjo player, were you like a banjo-loving guy when you were a teenager?
Yeah, I did. I started playing banjo when I was about 14. And I listened to Bob Marley and the Talking Heads and Tommy Jarrell.
Yeah. That's a interesting combination, interesting little sort of vortex there. Well, quickly, I should just let our listeners know that the Horseflies in their time have really, I think, made so many friends in popular music. And I was looking at the list of rave reviews from all the Rolling Stone and the New York Times and Time Out and all the British press and all this stuff. It's really impressive how you've tapped into something that is absolutely your own, and yet mainstream media recognized it and got it and really gave you lots of love, even though you maybe didn't sell as many records as Natalie Merchant.
Well, we gave him a lot of the money that we printed to say those things.
But it's thoughtful stuff too. The lyrics are sort of, many times there's a sense of humor there, but they're also dealing with lots of issues that are relevant to you guys and atypical, particularly in traditional music, where a lot of the lyrics are kind of just an excuse to play the tune a little longer. This record is kind of a bluesy record. Between songs like "Oh Death" and "Baghdad Children" and "Drunkard's Child" and "Veins of Coal" and even "Carnival Lips." There's lots of not dark, but thoughtful stuff in there.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark. Okay.
We don't mind saying we like dark music.
It's just happy sounding, but really dark.
Yeah.
So that's another one of those combinations. Are there any of the reviews or responses you got into the record that surprised you? None of them?
I don't know about reviews, you just read them, and if they're good, you go, damn, that's good. And if they're lousy, you just ignore them. I don't know what to do with reviews, except really,
Well, I think when you make a record...
it's a funny relationship with
Sure.
a listener if they're writing something about it. We really do try to make music that just feels right and expresses things we care about in one way or another,
Yeah.
either straightforwardly or humorously or whatever. So.
And you also make some music for films too, right? For film projects.
Yeah.
And you also make some music for films too.
Yes, we do.
And so that soundtrack stuff is good and continuing. And
We're still doing that, and we really love doing that. Particularly, there are a couple of reasons I love doing it. You don't have to sing, which is really great. Cuts down on recording time a lot, in my case. And that was a joke. Anyhow, it's really great the truth of it is there's nothing more satisfying than trying to create an emotional space or mood using music, and I think all of us really love to do that.
Yeah.
So.
One of the things that you do so well, I think, is just create this sort of trance-like state as people get sort of, welcomed into your songs, and then the groove continues. And I've been in lots of festivals where you're playing, and there's a huge crowd of people, and it's the middle of the night, and they're just can't help but keep moving and be part of that thing. It's hypnotic and rare, the thing that you do.
I have to say that playing in the middle of the night stuff with a writhing crowd is one of our favorite things to do. So thank you to all of those of you who do that.
Yeah, I can say that I think it's pretty fair for me to say that for us, a high point of doing music has been to play the Telluride Festival, and which is really it's a stunning festival in so many ways, musically and obviously environmentally. But it's quite amazing to be on stage, and how cold it's gotten late at night, and you realize how cold it is, and you look out and you see these, I don't know what they are, Rocky Mountain hippies or something, and they have on shorts and a t-shirt, and there they go. And I'm thinking, well, if I had another layer of fleece, I'd be comfortable. And that's good behavior.
I was out there. I was out there in the crowd, jumping up and down. Anyway, we're going to get back to share the thing that we all love the most about you. Not that you're not charming fellows and gal, but, we want to hear the music. So welcome back, if you would, for their first visit to eTown. We're so excited that it happened. Welcome back, the Horseflies.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.